Hey guys, what's up? So, hopefully this is a quick one. I wanted to essentially show you guys how I do my global stores in VueJS because I keep getting this question, and I don't really personally like using Vuex. If you know me, I've never used Vuex. It's great, a little bit over complex. So we set up a project using VueCLI real quick, and I'm just going to show you guys the process, and hopefully it's simple, so let's jump right in. We're gonna first create a plugins directory, and we're just gonna add a new JavaScript file, and I guess we'll call it global stores. Okay, with this, we're gonna export default, export an object, install Vue, and this will essentially allow us to set up where we're gonna define these global stores, and you don't always need to do them this way, but for this we're going to. So we're gonna do vue.prototype. Um, let's say for our store, we're gonna want to store some authorized user information. So we'll do it like this. Now, we haven't created this file just yet, so let's go ahead and create that. Create a new directory, stores. And we'll call it user store. And what I normally do with this, spot default, actually, class user store. We'll add a constructor, and then we will just do view.observable. We need to import Vue, so we get this looking right. Import Vue from Vue. Okay, now here, this observable, kind of not sure how to explain it, but it's like the data object on a single file component. So I can define this here, import it wherever I need, and it will essentially keep its state and stay reactive, although I forgot to define one thing, which we normally do this. So we'll define user, we'll set it null by default, this will store our information, and just like Vuex, you can add some methods and other things which modify the data and getters, and I'll show you how I normally do that. So let's say I would normally have something maybe like this after the user is authorized, and we'll pass in a user object from here. So then we can do something like this, state.user equals user, and we'll set that there. And we'll do maybe a getter like this. Actually, that could be weird because it will be $user.user. So let's go with maybe get current. Now, we're going to have to kind of emulate how this works. We're also missing one thing. This is quite critical. So essentially, again, also not really sure how to 100% explain it, but with JavaScript modules, hold on one second, sorry. Had to clear my throat there. With JavaScript modules, when you export them like this, they kind of stay like cached in that state. So no matter where you import them, they kind of keep their same, I guess, values and stuff from the last place they were used. And since we're exporting as a new class, it kind of works in a singleton pattern, if that makes sense. In PHP, if it was static and you set variables to it, stored some data on those, it would essentially keep that state throughout that request's like lifetime almost. It's kind of hard to explain. I know how to code. I can't explain properly, but I want to try and at least show this so that people have an understanding of how it works and how you can use it. So moving forward, I guess for the case of our example, we're gonna just go simple, and let's just add a button. Call it login, for example, and at click login. We'll add a method in here. So normally this will be, your username, password form. You'll send off a request, etc., etc. Before we do that, I forgot one critical thing. My bad. Two critical things. So global stores here. We need to import our user store here. There we go. And now in main.js, we can do view.use global stores. And that's set up for us. So now we can go back to our home.view at login, and we will just do this.user.authorize, and let's just pass a username Sam, and normally you'd have an email, sam@sam.com, something like this maybe. And now that's done. So we can do it this way, but because of the way we also defined it, we can also do user store dot authorized and use the same object. We just need to import that. So you're not limited to essentially just doing it this way from inside a component. If you have another store or some other external logic, you're actually able to access your store this way and modify its data. And you could also access user store.state and user and set some data this way as well. Like, that's entirely up to you. It's kind of nice. You get full control over the flow, but I think we covered everything for here, so let's give it a try. I can find the page, which I cannot apparently. Where's my button? Okay, my apologies there. I had to quickly switch browser to Edge. Apparently with Safari I have some caching issues, which isn't good. I recently switched to Mac and still not 100% comfortable with it yet, or know all the little quirks, but either way, now we're using Edge. We have our component here, and we have our login button. So if we just hit login, it's not going to do anything, I guess. So maybe, how do we want to test this? Maybe when we go to About page, actually, let's use Vue to its full extent here. So home.view, and I can show you guys a little bit more then, I guess. So what we'll do is authorized, return this state.user. Let's say you'd need to have an email. You can do it this way. And we'll add a div here, vf user.is authorized h1 welcome user current username. Add a nice little exclamation mark there, and then we'll do another div and just else and put our login button in there. So this should hopefully show this to its full power. Apparently we have an error. Unexpected token. Okay, well this is great. Maybe I can't do it this way, so we'll just do a null check. And there we go. So there is a couple of other little things. I'm not going to cover them in this video. There's a way to get nice type completion here and get rid of these squigglies, and to essentially know what you're using and accessing, importing, whatever it may be. It's interesting how it works here but doesn't here. I'm not sure why that is, but I have a solution to this problem. Like I say, this video is almost 10 minutes. We can't cover it here. But this works, and it's a really nice method. We're using it in an app that I do at work, and we use it all over the place now. I use it in every project I build. It's pretty nice. I don't think you should clutter too much into global scope, but it works really well. And there's also a few different takes you could have on it. It's entirely your personal preference. But if you just want to get started with essentially custom stores and not having to use something like Vuex, this works amazingly well. But yeah, have a great day. Hope this works. Hope this covers information or questions asked, and enjoy. Bye bye.